All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining in on this Thursday evening. We're continuing to climb. Numbers are jumping up here on our call, and I'm just so encouraged to see everyone and hear everyone's voices. Lori said it best earlier. We did a call with Dr. DeLuca, a board certified orthopedic surgeon. He absolutely crushed it. He was sharing his expertise on the burn product and why it's so effective. We will have that recorded and put up for you. But I absolutely miss our team when we can't really get face to face, but we can get online and be virtual. It's the next best option. And so thank you for taking the time out. I would encourage you to grab a notepad and a pen. Make sure you take great notes tonight. Maybe jot down some questions and get back to one of your ranked leaders because success leaves clues, and you always want to grab someone that has already walked the road, so to speak, who's had a little bit of success or is climbing the ranks so that you can learn what they've learned. But then also getting yourself on these calls are super helpful. I know when I was coming up, and still to this day, I still get on calls every chance I get so that I can listen and learn. It may be one thing that you take away that you apply that is the game changer for you. So very excited to be with you guys as always. I'm going to give a little kudos here to my executive assistant, Miss Lori Sturgill. She's been working tirelessly to help us as a team. And so next time you see her maybe on the team page, show her a little bit of love because she really does make the whole world go around sometimes for us. And she has been just absolutely crushing it with these slides. So we talked about what I wanted to train on tonight, and within minutes, she whipped up these slides for us. So if you're close to the web, get on at zoom.us. If you have access to the web, I think it'll help your viewing experience. I think it'll just help enhance. But if you're listening, that's great too. We're just glad to have you here tonight. But again, zoom.us, and then type in my 217-855-4355. It's the same code you had to use if you dialed in. All right, so tonight I'm going to give you some pro tips on how to help you work from home. Some of you, this is all brand new to you, and you are now finding yourself working at home for the very first time. So before we do that, I do want to announce that on Saturday, I am also doing a new ambassador launch training. I heard one of the girls get on her very first tonight from Alaska. I love it. When you're brand new, this is one of those calls. And even when, like I said, I've been here since the beginning of this company, I still get on these new ambassador launch training calls that the national line puts on. Now that's on ziliswebinar.com. That'll be Saturday at 11 Central. It's 12 o'clock Eastern. I do have some celebrating to do because we just closed out the month of March and we just embarked on April. And even though the world has been seeing some crazy things happening right now, we still had rank advancements, and we had new associates, we had new communities, and we had new cities this month. And so I just wanted to say congratulations. I'm not going to name every single name, but I do want to just give you hats off because you all, if you can see your name on the board here, it means you went after your business, started taking ownership of your dreams, and started to put the work and the action behind it. And so congratulations to you. City ambassadors, when you reach city rank, you now start getting a blessing bonus. And with that blessing bonus, it starts at $100. You can just start finding someone to bless. And what an amazing time to be able to use that to find someone that maybe is struggling or concerned. Maybe they're out of work right now. I just encourage you to find someone that you really want to give it to and give it away. And feel that feeling, because it's the biggest blessing when you're the one giving it versus the one receiving it. And so I love that bonus. Congratulations on your success. And I want to take it another step. We just closed out our Success Club promotion. And Success Club 10 and Success Club 5, we have Dr. Scott Van Wilp. I hope I said your name right. I can't wait to meet you. Brand new in the business, and just absolutely crushed it last month. To get to Success Club 10, as you know, you have to sponsor several people to get to that. And so he did get a $100 gift card. Now we are exchanging that for just a regular gift card. If you would rather just have, since everyone's at home right now with what's going on, And then Success Club 5, several of you actually made Success Club 5. Dr. Chandra is on that list. No surprise, right? She keeps making all of the challenges that we put out. Somehow she finds her name on that leaderboard, as well as Judy Clancy, Brenton Lee Barnes, several people that I haven't even had a chance to meet on this list yet. Would love to get to know you. Judy Clancy, speaking of Judy Clancy, she is absolutely a rock star. She's a national ambassador. She will be here same time next week. She invited me to listen to her training. It's called Road Trip for Success. And she said, Dani, I would love to have you critique me and just give me any points, any pointers, any words of wisdom. I said, absolutely, I'll get on. I love it when people ask me to do that and share vision or answer questions for their team. I was blown away at her training. She put it all together, and she will be here doing that next Thursday night, same time, same channel. Okay, so mark your calendars for that. Judy Clancy, National Ambassador, will be doing a training for us. I will be on with notepad in hand. Tonight's agenda, we're going to go through just a quick mindset check, pro tips on working from home, and then I'd like to give you a goal or a challenge for April and moving forward. So stay with us until the end so that you can get that. There's almost 100 people on the line. Congratulations for all of you and more that will still keep chiming in tonight. But listen, what are you reading right now? Because as a company, we've been reading, and where is it? I must have took it downstairs. I am having a hard time putting that book down, called Relentless. The company put out a challenge for us to read that. I have several books behind me up here on my bookshelf. I love to read. There is something so powerful about moving your mind as what you feed it. So if you aren't currently already either listening to audio of some kind that's going to move your mind in the right direction, or a book of some kind, I'm going to encourage you. And I've had people reach out to me just this last week, and the very first thing I say to them is double up on what you've been doing. If you're struggling, then be proactive. Go to your books, go to your audios, have your devotions, whatever it is for you that'll help your mind stay on track. All right, because it's so incredibly important that what we tell ourselves. So I'm one of those people that have to work on it every single day, and it does not always come easy for me, but I am so committed to my personal growth and being proactive. And sometimes I just read a quote the other day, and it said, instead of waiting till those negative thoughts come into your head and then trying to push them back, then instead of doing that, start talking to yourself in a positive way before it even happens. So start waking up in the morning and giving yourself positive affirmations. Do it before you go to bed at night. Do it during the day. We've started doing it when we wash our hands, because we're doing the whole 20-second wash our hands as a family. So we came up with a little song, and we're doing that. So anything you can do to keep your mind in check, all right? And how much TV time are you getting in right now, or online? Because sometimes be very careful of that as well, because sometimes you'll get, without even realizing it, your day gets completely taken away because you got too involved, or it just bounces from one thing to the next. So I want you to be intentional. If you want to be successful, you have to set your intentions. You know, what are your goals? And then what are the action steps that you're going to take? So this is important. There's also, how are you taking care of yourself? Because as we have all noticed, our routines have changed. So for me, I used to go to the gym and I used to work out, and now I can't do that. So I'm learning new ways to work out at home. And at first it was quite the challenge, because I thought, what am I going to do? I don't have a routine, but I've decided I have to put myself in a position where I'm showing myself self-care, because if you don't have anything, if your cup's not full, how are you going to give to anyone else, right? So make arrangements for yourself, whatever that means to you. If it's quiet time with your book, if it's giving yourself self-care, some kind of, for the ladies or the men, if you do something that makes you feel good, do that, but take care of yourself. Auto ship is something that I just wanted to throw in here. I've had some people saying that they're thinking they're gonna just pause their auto ship, and you do whatever you have to do. I want to always be clear and transparent with everyone, but especially if you're new. I had a lady call me this week and she said, I'm thinking about moving my auto ship to next month. I'm just trying to make some cuts until we know what's going to happen. And I said, certainly if you need to do that, but just make sure you understand that there's volume that's already being stored in your account and it will flush. And so if you're okay with that, I'll support whatever you need to do, but I just don't want you to do it without realizing that's what's gonna, and she goes, oh no, she said, she goes, we use the product and I sell it. I was just trying to find a way to, maybe trim it down a little bit, but if I'm gonna lose all that volume. So some people don't realize that auto ship is so critical to your business because you have, as long as you can fit it in your budget and still use it. But I'm telling you, I've been selling bottles like crazy lately because I'll pick up the phone and call someone, we'll start talking, and they either ask me about it now or I ask them how they're doing, and then we have that conversation. And if they're not open to looking at the business, then I'll ask them, would you be open to just trying the product and seeing for yourself? So I sell, my auto ship is, we sell whatever we bring in. I bring in those big cases when we go to the shows, and then I have no intention of leaving those laying on my shelves. I want those in people's bodies. All right. So auto ship is a very important thing. I just wanted to make sure everyone understands that you have to be on 100 business volume or more a month. That's 2 bottles a month, or look at whatever products you want to add up so that you can store your volume. Okay. So some tips on working from home. This is something else that came to my attention and something that I've already adjusted to because I've been working from home for so long, but I still have the issues at hand. I've just maybe learned to navigate them a little more because I've done it for so long. But one of the things I did this week is I recorded the presentation again. I got the updated presentation. I put a training out. And it was so funny. I was sitting here just at the tail end of my recording and the neighbor guy kicks on the lawnmower. And what's funny is he had just mowed the day before. He was mowing 2 days in a row because he's tired of being cooped up in the house. And then out comes the weed eater and he's blowing through the weeds and it's real loud. And I thought, oh my gosh, then then Federal Express pulls up. And so if you're not used to working from home, you're going to have a little bit of an adjustment period, but I'm telling you that once you kind of find your niche and your groove, there's nothing like it, because now you can actually do this from the comfort of your own home. You shower or not shower, it's up to you, right? Some days I do, some days I don't. It just depends on how I feel. That's the beautiful thing of working from home. But how about spouses? Because now all of a sudden you're finding yourself, some of you home with your spouse or your kids all day. There's homeschooling going on. There's projects you're trying to get done, and they're stopping and going all day long. Pets. There's just, my sister and I were laughing last night on the phone because she's not used to being home. And she said, oh my gosh, I love my family, but I'm going nuts. She said, I don't have any time to myself. None. And I said, she'll figure it out, but you have to just find that time and block it out. And you've heard me talk about time blocks. Time blocks are so critical so that you can block out chunks of time and then talk to your family ahead of time and say, okay, if we're serious about planting seeds and getting this business established, then there has to be some sort of set time that I spend and devote with intention to my business. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need quiet space or a little bit of time that I can go off in a certain part of the house. You have to set those expectations up front. And often we've heard different trainers say this, and it's very effective when we do it. It works. And my husband and I always have to go back and sometimes recalibrate. But if we sit down either nightly before the next day or once a week even, and look at the week ahead and say, okay, what would you like to get done? And how do I want to get things done? How can we do this together so that we don't misunderstand each other? And then all of a sudden you're wanting to do this and I'm wanting to do that and we're clashing. So if you can do that ahead of time, your business will be miles ahead. Okay. The homeschooling thing, Lori came to the line to tell me earlier. And Lori, I don't know if you want to come on the line while you're here with us, would you mind telling the listeners what you told me earlier about all of a sudden you find yourself in a position homeschooling and the pressure that you had on yourself?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a 6-year-old here, and he's not in school now. And I've worked from home for about a year now, so that's nothing new to me. But it is new to have him here 24/7 with me, and I love him to death. But man, he's loud, and he plays very well by himself. But I have to make sure I have to make sure he learns how to read and write. I mean, he's at that part of school. So I was putting a lot of pressure on myself about, I need to have him in school all day long doing lots of different projects and stuff. And I really felt better whenever I talked to his teacher and I got some information from the school district about what their expectation was versus what I had kind of asserted myself to be doing, which, was a lot less. So it was nice to have that relief a little bit.
Yeah, and then you could get focused, and today was a much better day because you didn't put so much pressure on. It's all an adjustment phase for so many people. And so we want to address it because it's what we're dealing with. Maybe for you it's not happening. Maybe you've already been working from home, but there's several people that now find themselves in a situation that they weren't prepared for. And so she even said 0 downtime for her as well. And then realizing, okay, I just need some help. And so once you get to that place where you just maybe settle in a little bit better and take the pressure off yourself, I think you'll see a big weight lifted off your shoulders for sure. Sometimes this also comes into play when you start working from home, is that you don't know what to focus on. You sit down thinking, okay, I'm going to sit down and work on my business, and then you go blank. And it's because you haven't prepared ahead of time. So you want to pull out your calendar, and you want to be intentional with your calendar, and you want to fill up that calendar. So Lori is amazing at putting together all of our team calls a week ahead, anything that you can plug into, or anything that you personally are going to do as far as, okay, I'm going to invite people from 12 to 1. That's going to be quiet time for the kids, or whatever you've pre-planned on your calendar. And then you set that time, and you make sure your list of names is ready to go. You've refreshed your list. Maybe you go through and scroll through your Facebook and add new names to your list. Do not be afraid to pick up that phone and make conversation right now. People are hungry for interaction. And be careful that you don't drift too far off on your work time and get too far down the road talking about too many things. Be sensitive right now, but ask questions. And if they're not open, do they have anyone that they could refer to you? And just say, look, I'm really excited about what we have our hands on with this product. It's helping so many people. And there's also, I know, people that are looking for opportunities to generate revenue. We never are pushing ourselves on anyone. It's not appealing. In fact, it's a huge turnoff, but don't be afraid to be bold. Okay. So set your new schedule, clarify it with your family that you need space for that. Don't be afraid to pick up that phone and have a conversation. Be light and sensitive, but be bold. Ask for what you want. Kim was on our call on Tuesday night. She has a spa and a salon. And she said, Dani, if I had not been introduced to this, I would be in such a bad position right now. So there are a lot of people that are in that position right now. And they're struggling a little, wondering, what am I going to do? But then there are people that are okay, that they'll have some flex in their budget or their schedules and things that they can handle a little bit more. But she actually called her clients. I suggested this to the rest of the salon call. And I said, listen, just tell them you miss them. You'd love to be able to see them. But in the meantime, what you're doing to generate some extra revenue that'll help support, you during this phase is getting this product in people's bodies, and name off some of the things that it's helping with. And she said, Dani, people are picking it up off my doorstep, or I'm dropping it off. And again, you can ship. There's PayPal. Robin told me about this today. I was looking into it. There's different services that you can do, but you can actually weigh and measure your package at home and print it on your printer and actually stick it right on the package and put it outside, and the USPS will pick it up. Okay, we have a drop-off place that I can circle around. So if I just need to get out of the house and come back home, at least I've packaged it up. I get the padded envelopes. I put some of our flyers in there. I try to make it look nice. And At some point, we'll make it even prettier. You can do whatever you want with it. The point is getting it in people's bodies. Ron Murray, I heard you're doing amazing. I heard you chime in on this call. And Ron, if you're still with us, can you unmute your phone? He doesn't even know I'm going to ask him. Oh, Ron?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
So I heard some good news about you this week. I heard that you are just killing it with product sales. Do you want to tell the team what you've been doing?
It's been amazing. One is I have an advertisement on our local talk radio show. I sponsor the weather. Every time the weather goes off, it mentions the name of my business, Montana Murray Kennels, and it has a tagline along with CBD. And I mentioned in there that we are the #1 selling CBD in the nation. And right now, I think on Monday was my best day. We sold 9 bottles on that day alone. Today, I think we only sold 1, which is still better than not. But it's been anywhere from 3, 4, 5. I was going into this and I was sitting on a lot of 1-ounce bottles and trying to figure out what I was going to do with them because I thought the system was going to take that over. My 1-ounce bottles, I'm hoping that Stephen comes out with a red zone, white zone, blue zone special here pretty soon. I just bought all minis, but we're knocking it out of the park. I have roadside banners that say CBD and CBG. I have a sign out that says we are open next to the road. We're along a frontage road that's very busy. So advertising, and then one is, and I get a little guff for it, but I do a lot of videos. And I try to keep my videos at about 1 minute and 20 seconds. I find that that's about the attention span of most Americans. So I do try to keep it 1.19 for my videos, and I'm constantly I respond to everything. Anybody mentions it, I'm sending a private message. I'm hitting people up left and right. And right now it is new people coming through. With that too, everybody comes in, I get their email, and I'm asking for a phone number. And I tell them I won't inundate them, but I do want to check up on them and see how they're doing. So tomorrow is Friday. I will start calling everybody that bought bottles on Monday to see what more I can do and how their dosing's going.
That is so, fortune's in the follow-up. And yes. I love that you're taking every measure possible because your business is it shut down right now?
I just ran a report for the month of April and we're off 97% in our revenue for the month of April.
For kennels?
So.
Yeah.
My kennels are dependent upon the luxury traveler, and that's not happening. So if it wasn't for, and this is the whole revenue source. So those of you that are out there that are thinking, how can you make money at it? I've been at it for just over a year, and my business is just really now starting to kick butt at it. So stay with it. Don't be afraid. But I put money into my business too, though. I'm a traditional business guy. I do pay for some advertising here and there. So
yeah, because you sometimes have to do that, but it's tenfold because think about every person that you get that in their body, that's a potential new ambassador for your team. And they know a whole lot of people that you do not, and they have connections across the US or maybe global. And so encourage you to all listen to what he said. He dropped some huge nuggets. He didn't even know I was going to bring him to the line. I was actually going to call you separately and just say, what are you doing? And I love that you came with words of wisdom. You actually said, you're taking these videos, you catch a little guff for it. Who cares, right? The people that give you a little slack on it, they're not paying your bills. So
no, that's and our bills are still coming in. That's right. If I could put a little humor to it for a minute, Dani. The other day I did a video where I wanted to show how I dose, and my wife she was on the other end of the camera taping, and I'm in my sleep pants and I have my shirt off and I'm showing how I use topical because I rub it on my back. Sure. And I'm going along and people are like, oh my God, Ron, put your shirt back on. And I remember years ago in advertising, one of the things I always was told, sex sells. So I'm like, I am not shameless whatsoever. I will do whatever I need to make sure that this business is booming. So
you have a family to take care of and you're having fun with it, but you also are, I love that you are keeping your business with Zilis even on high speed right now and afloat. But I think it's encouraging for people to hear that. You're making the most of a situation that a lot of people just freeze and they're paralyzed. They're paralyzed with either fear, indecision. They don't know what they're going to do. And you've stepped out of that comfort zone and said, nope, I'm going to go and face whatever I need to do. So it's impressive, and I want to congratulate you and your wife on your success. So he
and that
took
was
out.
in January, I was a leader in how many people I was signing up and bringing into the company. I haven't been able to sign many people up since, but right now my goal and focus is to help people with the product. And I know that I believe in it. It'll come back within that 30 to 90 days. I will see these people coming back in and saying, okay, how do I save extra money and order it on a regular basis? So we know it'll come back around, and that is, and kudos to my wife for putting up with me through all this too.
I love it. Well, the thing that he just said is spot on. Thank you so much, Ron, for jumping in unexpected like that and sharing with us. But the thing is, he's making money. He's actually 4 to 5 bottles. What did you say? Let's just give a week. What are you selling per week if you had to take an average?
I'd say in a week right now we're looking at 20 bottles.
20 bottles. So if you had bought it in the quantity at the lowest
and
price,
I buy it at quantity. I buy the 4 case minimum.
So what do you sell it at? What's your price?
My minis I sell for 40.
Okay.
And my 1 ounce bottles we're doing $129.95, and my systems are $134.95.
So on his systems, he's making how much? You said 130?
$134.95.
Okay, so you're making $75 per system.
And on my big bottles, I'm making roughly $80.
$80.
Because I'm buying them for $50 a
And
piece.
then how much
I have my prime shipping.
And how much are you making on your minis?
Well, like this last batch, because Steven's put in the buy 3 get 1 free, we're paying just under $16 a bottle.
Yep.
So I'm paying 16 and I retail them for 40.
Perfect. So guys, listen, let that be some encouragement. That's what I mean about don't be afraid to pick up the phone and ask, or do the video, or whatever it takes. And when you start getting out of your comfort zone and you push yourself to do those things, you're putting your business into motion, and an object in motion tends to stay in motion. You've heard that. So when you get that thing going, you're not as sitting behind your desk trying to figure out, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? Nope. You just get after it. I like that he does a radio ad. That's not something that you normally have to do, but with our product line, because you can buy it at cost and sell it at a profit margin, why not? Why not do something like that? He has the big banners outside. I know several business owners that are on this phone right now. I know Audra Nichols, in her line of business, she's tripled and quadrupled her sales right now because of the whole immune system type thing. When I'm calling her, she's like, Dani, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude, but I've got customers out the wazoo. I'm like, no, go take care of your customers. It's amazing how some people will look at it from half empty and some will look at it from half full. And you can tell what happens when you start, getting after this. So please be encouraged that even if it's been slow for you, you can take it and you can run and do something with it now. What I look at it as is it's all seeds going into the ground. And when you plant a field, you have to nurture that field. He said he's following up. Fortune's in the follow-up. If you're calling them back and saying, hey, tell me what you like best so far. How are you resting at night? Is there anything else I can do for you? Have you thought about taking the dream, or whatever the next add-on that you can do? It's all about just starting that conversation. I would encourage you to have a goal of sponsoring at least 2 bronze packs at a minimum this month in April, and teach your team to do the same thing. I'm going to teach you this and give you this challenge. Let's see if it's still here. Let's see if I can get it on our slide. There we go. So Lori and I did the math on this, and I said, Lori, it always says during the presentation, do the math. And so I did the math just on this one stream. And you take the 4,096 people. If you found your 2 people this month, and we just looked at 1 year's time, and you said, all right, my month in April, I'm going to bring 2 people, and then I'm going to teach those 2 people to bring 2 people. Now, of course, some of you are not going to settle for 2 people, and you're going to just crush it. And that's perfect. Go for it. Run. But I want people that maybe are brand new to entrepreneurship, or just trying to get their feet wet, to understand the power of this. And how many people do you know that could use an extra 40 grand in a year? This is just on this one stream. And you do have to have, some people are not going to sponsor either. Let's be realistic. Some people are going to say they're going to, and then they don't. And so you'll just have to replace that person. You'll have to find another person. Maybe they just want to use the product. Great. But you want to find 2 people that want to go find 2 people. And if you can just start teaching that concept, we did it, if you take that just on Wholesale members, the ones that come in now for the $199, you get half that, you get 50 BV for those. And if you did the math on just wholesale customers, you're still looking at an extra 20 grand in that one stream for a year. How much is that? Who's my mathematicians on the line? How much is that per month? If you made an extra 20 grand in a year's time, what is that per month? $1,600? Somebody come on the line and tell me.
It's $1,666 a month.
So how many house payments are falling in that range somewhere, then you could make a house payment with that. Just because sometimes you see people like you know Mindy and Montana, and you've heard their story over and over because I love bragging on them, or you hear some of the other people, you know, just absolutely taking this thing and rocking 6 and 7 figures, and you think, well, why is that not happening for me? It's just a matter of being consistent and getting the right mindset, like we just talked about, and staying consistent, intentional. When you have that power behind you and you've already made up your mind you're going to do it, whether people like it or not, you're just going to keep going, and you're not going to be rude. You're just going to have posture. Ron said, hey, even if I catch a little slack off of it, I'm going to keep doing it. Same thing I did. When I sat down at my desk one day, some of you have heard this, some of you have not. I sat down at my desk one day when I first started this business, and I had a panic attack. I literally felt all this anxiety come on me because I felt like, what am I going to say? This is my third company. And I'm going to say, oh, by the way, I know I talked to you about 2 other companies prior to this, but this is the one. But I knew something in my gut was telling me, because we were going to help children. We didn't have anywhere close to the CPT yet. And I just had this whole vision of making this global impact. And if this company actually caught fire and we got in early enough, then maybe we could just maybe make a ding, and we could put a dent on childhood malnutrition and be able to do something significant. And I was sitting there, and it finally hit me. Danielle, these people that you're worried about their opinions aren't paying your bills. And most likely, they're not going to be sitting next to you when you take your last breath. So why are you sitting here worried about what they think? If you handle yourself with professionalism, if you make yourself a decision that you're going to do it, whether they jump in with you or not, then they can either come in with you or they can wait and watch and see what happens. And I stuck it out, and look what happened. I pressed through all the self-doubt. I pressed through all of those different obstacles that come your way. I had negative Nellies left and right. I had people, they did make fun of me. I had one guy say, what are you doing now? Yeah, so how's that working? You know, he was real sarcastic in his tones, and it hurt my feelings. But then I realized, do not get emotionally attached to the outcome, Danielle. Just get attached to the activity, and the outcome will come. So I just kept pressing play. The next moment, I'm going back at it. And I even had one person listen to this one, tell me I was going to hell. That one, I stopped making phone calls that day, and I took the rest of the day off, because that one was like, wow. It was just unbelievable. He just said, you do know. And I thought, why did I let that get to me now? But it was just, you face some of those people sometimes, and then you just have to make that decision. Let them think what they're going to think. You're going to go share it. But if you do it professionally and you stay on top of it, and here's what stops most people is they start and they stop. They start and they stop. They get distracted. Life happens. I get it. And all kinds of issues will come up and try to take you off your game. But you have to keep your why. Why did you begin to do this to begin with? Was it because you need extra revenue for security? Do you need a plan B? Do you need to pay off debt? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Are you like my husband? Guess what? He retired. We haven't even made it a public announcement yet. He's a firefighter. He's on the front lines. He has to go into people's homes because they call them on EMS calls. And I sat down on the couch. I couldn't sleep one night. We got up together and we sat down on the couch, and I said, I know you were thinking maybe you wanted to wait till August just to kind of ride this out, because he's been doing it for 25 years. But then why would we put you at risk when you don't have to anymore? He was doing it because he loved his job. He loves to be able to, firefighting is what he's done for his whole adult life. So he walked in, he had coffee with the guys, and he said, guys, I'm going to stay today until you can find someone to replace me, get one of the guys that had to get called in, but I'm out. And do you know that 3 other guys retired right after him because they were so inspired that he actually pulled the trigger and decided to do it? And so now, that's about choices. It's about freedom. What is it for you? What do you want out of it for your life and for your future and for your family's future? And what about a legacy? Let's just say this thing does what we all think it could do, the trajectory of the numbers, and it just keeps exploding. And you're one of the very first people to get in, and you start sharing it, and people start sharing it. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in my shoes. I grew up in poverty, and I wake up one day and I go, wait a minute, I'm a 7-figure income earner. I'm not bragging, because I'm so humbled by it. I get goosebumps, my hair's sticking on end. If you can see in the picture, seriously, my hair is standing up because I never dreamed anything like that would happen. But it's the consistency, it's the intention, it's finding out that there is actual money to be able to do that. And I want to inspire you that if I can do it, so can you. And so you have to get out of your own way. You have to stop listening to those negative thoughts in your head, and you have to just make a plan of action. And even if you did it at a bare bone minimum, and all you did was do this power of 2, that found 2, that found 2, that found 2, and you just kept on after that, look at what that would do for the bottom line. My gosh, right? So go back to the very first thing we talked about, which was your mindset, and do a mindset check. What are you reading? That we're recapping right now. What are you reading? If you're not reading something, right? Like, let's see back here. I've got The Confident Women. I've got a Tim Tebow book. I've got Leadership by John Maxwell. I've got all kinds of these downstairs in the bookcase. They're over here on another bookshelf. I'm constantly putting my head into a book, and I still struggle. I'm telling you the truth. I want you guys to know that this isn't some glamorous thing every day that you just wake up like, woo, my life is perfect. Not true. Not even close. But there's more choices, and there's freedom, and I don't feel all that weight on my chest right now, and I want that same experience for you, but you have to make the decision. And the decision has to come first, to make the commitment, to put in the process, to maybe it takes 5 years from now. What if? And then what are you watching on TV? What are you putting in your mind? Erica Alford asked me, when did you turn your TV off? I still watch movies. I just don't watch junk television anymore. I purposely pick a movie out that will be hopefully inspiring to our family, but I don't watch junk. And we do still sit down and have family time where we check out, we turn the phone off, we pop some popcorn, we get on the couch in our blankets and snuggle up, and we watch good movies. But I don't spend my time just carelessly sitting on the couch absorbing a bunch of junk on the television anymore, because that's not going to pay you. Have you heard there's no BV in TV? There's no BV in TV. So find what you want to do, and then pick what you're going to do, and then put your plan of action together. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Double check your auto ship. Make sure your team, if they have to, because they're under, you don't pressure people. You just want them to understand that you don't want them to miss out. If they happen to not understand that and they flush all their volume, that's money sitting in a bank account that more people are getting added to the team, that when their team actually does start to duplicate, you don't want them to be upset because they missed out on it. So set your auto ship between the 1st and the 5th of the month is ideal, because then you've got, if something happens to your credit card, you've got the rest of the month. Okay. Stay safe. Do your part in this whole thing that we're all going through together. Some people don't think it's going to happen to them, but we've already seen people that are struggling with that. So here's what I'm charging you out with. Extreme leadership in your family, and extreme leadership in your business, and take the mindset that you were going to do something about it versus falling prey to the rest of what the world's going to do. You're going to take a step out, and you're going to make a difference in your own family, and you're not going to buy into fear. You're just going to do your part and move forward. Ron Murray, perfect example tonight. so glad that he came to the line. And if you were checking on earlier, you heard Stephanie. Stephanie lost 21 pounds. Do you know, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and we're going to wrap this up. I put a post on Facebook in our private group page on global impact. And I said, how has anyone dropped weight on the burn? And I'm blown away. Do you know how many people put on there anywhere from 12 pounds up to 100 pounds on our burn product? So Dr. DeLuca gets on and explains the science behind this. We'll have that recording cut out. You'll be able to use that to send to people. But I would not sell burn without at least talking to them about UltraCell first. Why? Because the UltraCell, right? Everything's sitting here on my desk, so I can use it whenever I need it. It's sitting right here by me. The UltraCell is going to get their body back in balance, and the Ultra Burn is going to give them that extra push if they're now all of a sudden finding themselves eating too much, because I know I have. Why? Because my routine changed and drifting off to the kitchen a little bit more. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, I need to get this pulled back in, because I don't want to not fit in my clothes. I want to feel good. So if you're going to do anything, start talking about that call and get that call out. Start asking people if they know anyone that could use better health, or if anyone would be open to jumping on one of our webinars, okay? And stay consistent with it. So I hope you gained some value out of tonight's training. It is always an honor to be with our team. I love our team sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts. It fills me up to see you win. And even if for you, it's just, you just want to be a part of it because you want to be around like-minded people and you're just using product, we value you just the same. I want you to know that that's what Global Impact's all about, is creating a culture and a team that we can lean in on each other, inspire one another, help give each other a kick in the pants every once in a while when we need it, and get after this thing. So God bless you guys. I'm going to close out for tonight. Next Thursday night, same time, same channel, we'll have Judy Clancy. I would not miss that training. You're going to gain so much knowledge and so much wisdom. And I'd like to rotate some of our trainers as we keep moving on. So God bless you guys. Keep an eye on us on the team page, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Dani.
Thanks, Dani. You're awesome.
You're awesome too.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank
You're
you,
righteous.
Thank you. Love you
Thank
guys.
you, Dani. That
Thank
was
you.
wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks,
My joy.
Dani. Very inspiring.
Sarah, thank you. My joy. Sarah's going whoop whoop. Yeah.
You're awesome.
So are you. Thank you so much. I had so many great words of love and gratitude on here. Thank you guys. You have no idea how much that means to me. All right. Well, everyone sleep well if you can tonight. Or you're maybe just too excited.
Dream.
Right. Yeah. I've got that beside the bed. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.